Hello, everybody. Hi, everybody. I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. I just wanted to um, talk about. So this is everybody's conflict. You start to think about, well, who started first? It's like a sibling rivalry fight. It's like, well, like, hey, mom, he started, or like he started. Instead of always thinking about the here and the now, like this is what's happening now. So can grown people actually talk, communicate? Because as far as I'm concerned, the only regime that's constantly being threatening and trying to be the bully and intimidating are um, Muslims out of the Gaza Strip. In this particular case, there's a Hezbollah out of Lebanon, and I'm sorry, like if I listen to alternative news and it bothers the um, mainstream media because I'm better informed. This is these people's like moral obligation. They consider themselves as watchmen for other people, and they're saying this is what's happening now. um, Play at your own risk. You know what's happening now. Don't blame. If you start doing the whole blame game thing, you're just going to be sucked into I'm not going to get in the middle, but I am going to say that the person that you can't keep people under like your like threats and blackmails and or bribes or all of the above. You just can't. You can't do that. That's no way to live. Nobody wants to live that way under any terrorist. That's terrorism. And I can go from like everyday life as a, to label somebody as a terrorist all the way to an organization. In this case, is you have to know that this is what's going on. And if you can't admit that to yourself, you're being dishonest or you're just being um, lazy. You don't want to deal with the problem. You want other people to deal with it instead. Well, believe me, if everybody has to start, bending over backwards for one another until one day, I guess like the person that could bend over, backwards the best or the furthest is the winner of the day, then I really don't care to have any conversation with you, because this is really just more about standing your ground, have your boundaries, human dignity. That's all it is. So when you get bombarded with how could you be so uh, idiotic to believe that somebody's just gonna start. But you know what? I understand evil. Um, I don't understand it to predict or to like I guess mastermind and be calculated. I mean, I guess I could be, but I have a conscience. I mean, and uh, people that know me understand that very well. Either way, what I'm trying to say is I don't feel that I should be um, I guess shamed for my intellect on human nature. This is what it is. These people are basically trying to frame things so that it looks like they're the United States bitch. Like, so now the Muslims are the United States bitch, and now Jerusalem was jealous, and or Israel was jealous, and so then Israel had to bomb them because now they don't have Trump anymore. This is like how ridiculous and idiotic these like ignoramuses would think. That's how they would think. That's what they have to think. Because why would they just start bombing? Why would they just like start threatening? Like, and now that we have so as far as I'm concerned, is the Muslims are now terrorist groups in the name of so-called peace, are receiving funding again from our government, which means that one day you're going to try and make me your bitch if you actually ever do get, like, far enough, which you might, you might, who knows? I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to speak up now because I don't want it to be too late, And if it is, it doesn't matter, because if you have to chop my head off, go for it. You have my full approval on that, because it's true. I mean, Black people like to talk about, well, if I had apologized, I'd have been dead. Well, same thing. Same thing's going on right now with people that are trying to threaten me, that are, they're threatening my life now. I guess you don't feel that way because it's like it's your type of vibe, but it's the same thing. So that's kind of where, um yeah, I mean, I'm a strong believer that there's an eternal life, and I'm more and more convinced of that, every day. I just get stronger because every day I'm like fighting like these, like, I guess, like the pressure that I've always been against, that I was taught by my educators, because there used to be something called an educator when I was growing up, and they taught me to be, um, a strong, individualistic person that had self-esteem and can make it in life and can make something of herself in life. So that's how I grew up. And that's how I was hoping that everybody else would grow up too. And so if that's not gonna, like, ever really come to fruition in any way, because there's always gonna be like some little, like obstacle, like here's another obstacle. I mean, it's like, oh yeah, I've been through so many obstacles in my life that I can definitely do it. I just didn't envision life that way, and I doubt that that's what God intended for anybody. Nobody has to go through obstacles, and I know that people in some circles don't get it yet, but it will come to the point where eventually it. I mean, I guess, people that may be in the so-called upper circles are already sort of like in deep in doo doo with the, trash, the filth of the world. So I mean, not really make a difference, except that they get to stall. They're stalling, just like our president is now. He's definitely stalling. Why are we stalling? He's stalling because he has things to hide, because he made deals in China that nobody can prove and nobody's going to prove, because the FBI has too much disincentive to actually investigate a corrupt mother freaker. So that's how it's going to go. Everybody sees that, everybody gets it. um yeah, nobody wants anything like that to happen. I mean, nobody. And I'm just going to reiterate and say exactly what Israelis will tell you. You have to talk to your leaders in Hamas. You have to talk to the people in Hamas. Like, nobody's going to stop to think about you when you're supportive of Hamas. It's like you asking me. It's like me being a Maria, because that's what a Black lady once called my mom. Like, I can't believe you, like a Maria, like I guess she was trying to say like a victim or something, or like somebody that's like all needy and clingy. Never. I've never in my life intended to be that way. Never have been. Never will. So I mean, it's like me saying, and now I expect the cops to protect me. Well, so I'm talking about like the classic domestic abuse situation between a dummy, a dumbass woman, and a fucked up piece of shit man that is a wife beater. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same dynamic. It's the same sort of. It springs from the same nature that you would do that. It's just at a completely different level, and I get it. It's just as petty. I'm sorry. It really is. If I have avoided a domestic abuse relationship this whole time, you better believe that I'm going to avoid it at a larger scale, at any scale at all. And I'm definitely just going to say, I, the responsibility falls on the individual to avoid a conflict, to avoid a situation. You certainly don't want to throw the first punch. If you throw a punch, don't start something you can't finish. Don't do it. You throw a punch at me, throw a punch. That's the way it has to go. That's just the way it has to go. Okay, Elon? And whatever else your name is. But yeah, I mean, and look at me, I'm skinny. And I don't care. I mean, I have speed. That's what I like to say, like I might be little bit, I got a little bit of speed, I can, probably put in a good few punches. Doesn't matter. The whole point is I'm not going to let anybody punk me. This is what you're trying to do, is you're like staging everything, and nobody should have to feel sorry for anybody. And if you are using kids to prevent other people from, I guess, retaliate, like teaching you the lesson, like, here's the lesson that you need, my friend, you need a little good whooping, then you are the defiler. You are the wrong, are in the wrong. You are. Nobody else has to do like this whole thing. Like, that's old. That's old. There is no time for that anymore. This is like, you don't have, it's not being classy if you try and use these kids. Okay, it's old. You need to stop using kids. Move them out, like, get them out of your way, get them out of harm's way, because you know what's coming. It's clear. It's been made clear for a very long time. That's fair. That's adult. That's like from one adult to another adult. And I wish all the best for everybody. I just want them to use their smarts and their common sense. Like, you can't just attack people. You better expect some sort of deterrent. That's a word, right? I just need to take another history class, because I can tell you all the different times the United States has done such a thing. And now for the United States to say that is Israel is in the wrong. I mean, what kind of people do we have, representing this country right now, Elon? What kind of people do we have? Oh man. Eesh. Well, I don't, I'm not in the business of trying to change anybody, or like, or giving anybody like advice or anything like preachy like that. I'm just saying, you have to stop thinking about yourself, and you know what? See, that's where I can give advice. Don't stop thinking about yourself. You can think about yourself. That's fine. But I'm not going to stop either. I'm going to think about myself. This is what makes me feel comfortable about what to think and how to react and what attitude I need to be having at this moment. And if people want to escalate things, I know what side I'm on. I know that I'm on the winning side. I know that. You can do anything you want, and I know that I'm on the winning side. So I am A-okay, my friend. And if you don't like it, well, I guess that's just